Hi, everybody, and welcome back to TV for Real, where reality and scripted TV collide. My name is Mike Bloom, and so thrilled to welcome back after her trip around the world, Sasha Joseph. Sasha, how are you?
So good. So happy to be back. I think this thing is still on. So it's just, what a way to come back into podcasting, I must say.
Absolutely, because we have a powerhouse guest talking about a powerhouse show. Look, the fall TV season is upon us, and one of the constants that we've experienced, much like Survivor, is Grey's Anatomy, which is coming back for season 21. And we're so excited to bring this person on, an out-and-out Survivor legend, Kelley Wentworth. Welcome to TV for Real.
Hey, I'm so excited. I love Grey's Anatomy, so this is going to be great. So I can't wait.
Oh my gosh, I have so many thoughts. So it's just, but we'll get through it all.
Okay.
Thank you for picking this show, because I feel like I've had such a journey with this show, so I can't wait to hear all about this. So how? Yeah, should we start with Grey's Anatomy, Mike?
Let's cut to the chase.
Yes.
Cut like a surgeon would. If that reference is not abundantly clear. I've seen 2 episodes of Grey's Anatomy amongst the, I don't know, I'm going to assume 1,000. Is this like the One Piece of scripted TV where it's just been around forever?
It's been around a long time. I need to know, though, why you've seen 2 episodes. Because usually you would have not seen any, or you would be totally into a show. So tell us. Yeah, so a while back, I did a podcast where we watched as many post-Super Bowl episodes of TV as possible, just to be like, oh, what was going on? So the only episodes I've seen of Grey's Anatomy were the 2-part episode with the bomb, with Kyle Chandler as the bomb guy. Oh, okay. Those were intense episodes. If those were the 2 episodes you watched, that's a lot.
And I thought, okay, well, surely the show peaked at its extremity there. But then I've found out a lot of things that have happened through osmosis, and it really does seem like that is fairly mild in comparison to what's happened over the course of 20 years.
Yeah. At the time, I think that seemed very extreme, but then we had a lot of things happen since then. They've gotten rid of a lot of key characters, which we can talk about. And in my opinion, I'm going to be 100% honest. I will admit, I actually have not watched the last couple of seasons because so many of my beautiful friends have either been killed off or just removed from the show. So I'm like, Grey's Anatomy when I was growing up is just not the same anymore. But I do need to go back and get into it. So, okay, so that's all I'm going to say for now.
Ooh, okay. You and me, same brain, because that's exactly where I am with Grey's Anatomy, where I keep telling people, free yourself, because I've been in the trenches, if you know, like first day, first show, I was watching, and I've talked about, I feel like Grey's Anatomy specifically, which is why I feel so excited to talk about it, actually, where this was the show when I moved to America. I lived with my aunt, and it's 6 women, so 4 like cousins and our moms were all watching. We used to watch shows together: Desperate Housewives, Scandal. Yeah, exactly.
Girl. Okay,
you're an ABC household.
Okay, hold on now. Scandal,
exactly.
Desperate Housewives,
exactly.
Okay.
So
we're like soul
Grey's
sisters.
Anatomy, yeah. So this was like the show, and to me, it'll always take me back to this like young immigrant kid. Why are we watching this with our moms? Don't ask me. But it's fine. It is what it is. And that's why this show is always such a like deep like place in my heart. And then they started killing off my characters. And then I said, I got to go because y'all are pissing me off. And I don't want to hate the show. You see what I'm saying? So I had to end the toxic relationship because they were playing with me too much. So I have to hear, Kelley. Yeah, like your journey with Grey's Anatomy.
I don't even remember. I know I watched from the beginning, but I can't really remember why I started watching. I think just a lot of people were talking about it. because I'm a little bit older, and there was a show when I was young called ER.
Oh yeah,
George Clooney, and now that's what my mama was watching. I was watching ER, and so I think I just kind of grew up watching that type of show. So when Grey's Anatomy came out, everyone was talking about it. So the show is based in Seattle. I lived in Seattle, so I feel like that was a part of it, and just because you could see the Space Needle and the ferry. And now listen, I'm going to tell y'all, I actually live on an island now that you have to take a ferry to. So every time I get on, I am hearing, McDreamy in my head talking about the ferry boats before that one horrible episode happened.
That's why I was like,
but yeah, I love it. I love it. I think the show is so fun because it has so many layers. It's not just about the surgeries and this kind of ridiculous cases, but it's all about the characters and their relationships. And you just you really connect with these people. And that's why when they start killing them off, I'm like, what are you doing? First George? Now, you can't do this to me. This is like family. So that's my Grey's Anatomy journey. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, all right.
And
so
Mike, you're probably just sitting here like
okay. So this is along the way. I'm going to fill you in as to what I know, and then you can give me stuff, and I'll respond. Okay. This is a spoiler-filled podcast. Okay. So George is a character played by T.R. Knight.
Yes.
And he went into the army, and he died, or am I mixing him up with another character?
No, he didn't go to the army. No. He's you
want us to tell you?
Yeah.
You want us to tell you?
Yeah.
He was hit by a bus.
What?
He was hit by a bus, and he came in
like Regina George.
Well, it did. Yeah, it didn't end well. So he was hit by a bus. Well, mind you, we need to go back on George. So George is this very as a character, he almost wasn't taken seriously as a doctor by his family, by other people, because he was kind of so nice, and he just maybe didn't have that cutthroat type mentality. But he was a character that everyone loved. He was just amazing. And so I can't remember, Sasha, did he was hit by a bus saving someone? Or
usually and everyone. Hold on, because usually,
but I don't know if he was just walking. I think he was trying to save someone, and he came in, and when he came to the hospital,
other people save. So that's why I don't.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I can't remember.
George O'Malley death. Oh, why is that the second thing? People search
right after George O'Malley life, I assume.
Yeah, literally. Oh my gosh. But yes, our dear 007. And the way we find out that it's George, y'all, by the way.
Yes.
Oh,
tell that.
It's painful. So obviously it's face is really messed up. We don't know who it is, blah, blah. Meredith, the main character, Grey's Anatomy, right? Yeah, comes in, and he literally writes 007 on her hand. He with his hand writes 007, and that's how she realizes it's George.
Was that
because that was a nickname or something?
His nickname, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I forgot that part.
You would have got there, yeah.
Oh my God,
yeah, so yes. Because he was
he does join the army.
Okay, he does join the army. I remembered something.
He did?
Forget.
Really?
It's because of Owen.
I don't think that was part of the show, though. Was that before he was
he abruptly and inexplicably decided to join the U.S. Army in Iraq, while his friends at the hospital prepare an intervention to convince O'Malley to stay. They all work on a severely disfigured
I don't remember
John
this.
Doe. Brought in after a horrible bus accident in which he pushed a woman out of the way and saved her life.
Oh, okay. Well, at least he died doing what he loved.
He doesn't end up going to the army.
Okay.
I mean, listen.
Yeah, I think that's his exit.
Tinfoil hat. That's a hell of an intervention. Could have been planned by the friends of listen, if you're physically unable to perform, we'll put you on the pup list permanently.
Oof. If you're not with us, you're not going anywhere.
Oh, George. Bless George.
Yeah, because the show started right where it was him and Izzy, who's Katherine Heigl's character, and Meredith. They were interns.
Christina Yang.
Yes. Christina
the most
Yang.
Badass. And Alex Karev. Which is my 13th reason for quitting the show.
Why? Did he die?
No, they did. Okay.
They did him dirty.
Karev.
Oh no.
Yeah, let's talk Karev.
Yeah.
Let's talk Karev.
So Karev is like the typical good-looking F boy that like, you know, he thinks he is it, he is him, and then he kind of gets, you know, knocked down a few pegs because of just how badass Meredith Grey and Christina Yang are. So I don't know, Kelley, do you think he's like number 3 in that intern class, right? Like maybe Izzy's better than him, maybe not.
In terms of who we like, or in terms of
no, just like allegedly how good they are, right? As a doctor, because he's always trying to be number 1, but
Christina and Meredith are top 2.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
and then everyone else is fighting for 3rd. Let's be honest.
Pretty
much. So anyway, but then he's like disliked. We hate him. Everyone hates him. You know, he's like dismissive, brash, blah, 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 you know, has a temper, all of this. And then all of a sudden he meets Jane Doe and, you know, his whole life changes.
He's like, okay, so Jane Doe.
There's another woman that was in a bus accident that they can't tell who she is.
It wasn't an accident, I believe, right?
Jane Doe. Oof. She came. Gosh, it's such an old season. It's so long
I know.
Ago. But there was, I don't remember how he gets. Like, she came into the hospital, obviously.
Yeah, he was she was his patient. Like,
yeah,
like
that's enough. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, like Survivor. You know, it's like a whole pregnant woman that gets rescued because she has amnesia. Like,
poor Mike. Like,
these things don't line up. This woman came in with a bingo board of things.
So basically, Karev kind of has this like, he goes from this guy that you don't like to all of a sudden like, oh, maybe this person has a heart. Maybe this is a good person. And then as you continue his story, he ends up getting together with Izzy, and she ends up getting cancer. And so he goes through that whole thing with her and is very much there for her. And he kind of just has this like shift in how he is as a character. And you almost start like rooting for him, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can finish with the dark, what happened.
So then, you know, blah, blah, blah. Like him and Izzy have a moment. Katherine Heigl, we know.
Yes.
She has
sex with a ghost.
Yes.
She does.
Because of cancer.
Yeah.
She has sex with Negan.
Well, we'll have to talk about Izzy because there's a few very intense season. Yeah, but let's finish with Karev.
Okay, but anyway, the Karev has like, all of this. And then finally, you know, becomes good. Him and Meredith are kind of the only 2 people left. And, you know, spoiler, like they're on like a great journey. Both of them are doing amazing, blah, blah, blah. Alex finds love finally with someone we all like, you know, and everyone's kind of like happy. Alex seems to be, you know, the anchor whenever Meredith feels like she's going anywhere, blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. And we do know also that Alex's family life, not great. Thumbs down. The next thing you know, Meredith gets into trouble. Alex needs to ask a bunch of people for help. And he calls Izzy off the record, obviously. We don't see any of this.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
And next thing you know, Alex is gone. He leaves his wife, Jo, who also is a foster kid, right?
Wait, has a foster kid or is a foster kid?
Like was. As in like has family issues of herself. And that's why Alex and Jo bond so well, right? And he just pieces out in a letter.
But wasn't there something before that where he got in that fight with that other guy and like beat that guy up?
Yeah. He beat DeLuca, right? Yeah.
That kind of I think started a bit of a spiral.
Is Meredith's man at the time. But, you know, unfortunately, Meredith's men are like buses. Like,
Meredith had a new man because they killed off her man.
Correct.
Okay, so I know that. I know McDreamy died in a car accident.
Well, multiple men have died.
Yeah, but McDreamy did die. He was one of the later kill-offs.
But again, it's just all these issues with Shonda and these people just getting whacked off because of it.
So wait, so did he know that he was getting written off, or the last thing he does is call another character who left the show?
No.
That was the sign he should have taken.
No, they gave McDreamy like a hero's send-off.
That's McDreamy?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
No, Alex
Karev. Not Karev.
Sorry. Karev's leaving, right? Where they're just like, he ends up finding out that Izzy has frozen 2 embryos before she had cancer. And then those embryos became twin babies. And guess what? They're Alex Karev's kids.
Poor Mike.
Wait, so
he was taken by that and the thought of a family that he just peace out, Girl Scout, everybody.
So they're one dalliance. She's like, all right, well, I got these Karev babies. Gotta put them in the deep
They were
freeze.
on and off. They could have been the one true.
Was it not? It could have been the ghosts. Was it the ghost babies?
No. So no.
Yeah, and the thing is I'm missing a lot of nuance, obviously. Alex helps.
This doesn't sound like a very nuanced show, but be completely honest.
No, Alex helps Meredith because she'd done some fraud. I think they need
some fraud.
Good because the medical industry sucks, and Meredith, tried to help out someone. But because of all of that, it's just. Poor guy. It was doing pediatric surgery. This is the kind of guy he was. Was in peds, killing it, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden,
he's just gone. Yeah. So they got rid of him and yeah. I think that leads us. Well, Mike, you tell us what else you know. Who else? Tell us other characters and we'll kind of give you the backstory.
So I know there's Bailey.
Oh, yeah. Bailey.
Bailey.
Oh, my gosh.
Bailey seems like I'm trying to think of who this would be, the long running show with the one person that sticks around, she is the Ted Danson in Sheer. She seems to be there from beginning to end, even while Island Pompeo is just sort of I'll sort of stop in for a few episodes. It seems like now it is Bailey's fort to hold down.
Yeah, so Bailey is a big figure from episode 1 because she's basically. Would she be the resident? What would her title be?
She was the chief intern.
Chief.
What Joe becomes later on.
Okay, so she basically is the surgeon that's far along in her career, and she takes in the new class of interns. Or what? What are they called? Yeah,
she onboards them.
Yeah, she onboards them, and she's basically overseeing their time as they're doing patients and surgeries and all of that. And so she is from the very beginning. It's one of the first scenes with her is you can tell she's a hard ass. She's the one that's going to keep them in order. She doesn't deal with BS. They come in, they call her, what do they call her?
Oh my God.
The drill sergeant, or there's some word they have for her. And so they're all chattering about it. And she comes in the room and they are so shocked that she's a woman, not a man.
A Nazi. Yeah.
Is that what they call her? Oh,
you're a Nazi?
Okay. Okay, well, that's what they called her.
She's a black woman, mind you.
Yeah. So that's kind of your first introduction to her is oh, wow, that's what this character is going to be. But she's obviously has a lot of layers to her, as all of these characters do. And you kind of start to get to know her more and her husband. And then she has a son. And she still kind of always keeps this tough exterior, but she really does care about people a lot, and I think she's a really great character. She's very, very fun. I like.
So she's had the same job for 20 seasons. Does she ever look into a promotion or anything?
Yeah, she is HBIC. She is chief of surgery by the end, or at the end isn't.
Is there drama around who becomes chief of surgery? Because I imagine Meredith has risen through the ranks there.
They wanted Meredith. Meredith turns it down as well. And Richard Weber, who was introduced to us as the chief of surgery, right? Yeah.
Yes.
He's the main guy, blah, blah, blah. Mike, take a wild guess how this man, that is a chief of surgery might know Meredith before she becomes an intern.
Ex-boyfriend.
Ooh, close. Richard is married man. But Richard has an affair with Meredith's mom,
who was also a surgeon, but she gets dementia, or she gets she can no longer we're basically introduced to her a little bit later on. I think in the first season, right? We discover that she was this top surgeon. Everyone knows the name Gray, and so Meredith also kind of has this feeling that
is Meredith a nepo baby?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So Meredith's mom and Richard had an affair when Meredith was younger. And we see pieces of that as the seasons go on.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
And they do have a child that does come to Seattle.
Yes.
Later on.
So Meredith's sister, who she didn't know.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I knew she had a sister. I didn't know if that was like an already introduced character, or if it's like, hey, you don't know me, but we have the same last name.
No, same last name because she's given up for adoption.
How does she find them? So she also coincidentally goes into medicine.
Yeah.
As the child born out of wedlock of 2 doctors.
Mm-hmm.
But she knew when she came to Grey Sloan that it was that Meredith was there. Like she knew that Meredith was her sister, but Meredith did not know. So
I feel like this is a horrible lesson for like those kids who grow up in households where the parents are like, you must be a doctor because you're in a family of doctors. Like, look at the Greys. Look what they've all done.
I think my mom's still waiting for me to be a doctor.
So what happened? So what happened to him? Did he retire? Did he fire? Did he get hit by a bus?
Many things happened to Richard.
I think he's still on the show.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
But there's some illnesses. There's not wanting to give up his post. But then, since Bailey was his protege, he does give it over eventually to Bailey. But then he's now, back to being a resident, but his hands ain't working the same way. So that's kind of Richard.
How old is this man? Like 83?
He's old.
Yeah.
Like you can see through the seasons, his hair gets gray. Like he definitely, you can tell that.
Yeah. Well, he got gray in a number of ways.
Oh, yes.
All right. So I also know that. Okay. So I know about Izzy. I know Katherine Heigl's character where she fell in love with a man named Denny, who is Jeffrey Dean Morgan, aka Negan. And so perhaps in an ode or a foreshadowing shot, Sasha, of his role in The Boys season 4, he had a disease and I think there was a storyline where she like puts him out of his misery. Like, was there a whole controversy about like pulling the plug on him or something?
Well, she kept him alive when he should have died.
Yes.
So so she meets him and she falls in love, and I think he needs a heart transplant. So she is his doctor, but falls in love with him. And there's this whole season basically trying to figure out how's he going to get a heart? How's Jenny going to get a heart? What are we going to do? And in the episode, the final episode, basically where he does die, they had a heart transplant for him. And they were going to get the heart, and they're on the way. Like they're on the way all this time. They've kept him alive all this time. And then there's like a ball, like a dance.
Yes.
At the hospital.
At the hospital?
Yeah, it's like a little prom.
It's like a little prom.
So, how much does an hour at the Civic Center cost? Don't have it at the hospital. You're going to get a code blue over the line while they're playing The Last Dance.
And so Izzy comes in his room to show Denny her beautiful dress. And when she comes in, he's basically like blue, like he's dead. And so she cuts. Isn't that what happened? Am I telling it right?
Yeah, the elbow.
He's dead. And then she cuts a wire to be able to keep. So he's not dead. Or no, he is. She does CPR. God, I can't remember. I think he was dead. And then she keeps him, but she kept him alive somehow.
Well, basically, I think he's gone by this time.
She was basically pumping his heart for him.
Yeah,
okay?
Exactly.
She's doing this little thing, pumping his heart, and then she gets all the other interns involved, and they're all like in this room. And then Bailey comes in and is like, "What's going on?" And then he died. He died,
and he leaves her money, which is
he leaves her money, and then she gets cancer, and she starts seeing the ghost of him, but we don't really know like why. And then it comes out that basically he was like almost like an angel coming to like take her up to heaven with him.
What?
But it's like, do you want to go up to heaven with me, or do you want to live on this earth?
Do you want to go to hell?
But she's with Karev at this time.
Yes.
So that she's like, do I want to stay on Earth and fight this with Karev, like fight my cancer, or do I want to go? And they say like,
well, she kind of did both. In that she's like, listen, I'll go, but like, let me freeze these Karev babies first so they can live on.
Yeah.
So Yeah, and here's the because I looked it up because I couldn't remember when she cut the LVAD.
Okay, thank you.
The whole thing.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is why it's crazy, Mike.
Okay, explain it.
So there's a donor that flatlines. Okay, then Dr. Burke, which is the cardio baddie, he tried to get the other donor's heart for Denny, and in order to help his case, Izzy decides to lie on the phone.
That's right. Yeah. Oh my gosh, and yes. Okay, that's right.
Denny's getting worse.
That's right.
It's not true. So they asked for labs, right, to confirm that he deserves said heart. So she decides to make his heart actually worse to fool them. And she cuts this LVAD wire.
That's what it is.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Thank
and then
you. Okay, thank you.
Stop her.
Okay.
But he relents and she's crying, blah, blah, blah. Because basically she's like, you would never forgive him for making her love him if he died, like all this love story. Basically.
Oh my God. Okay. You know what? Yeah, that woman went straight to hell. Like, I don't care about the symbology. I don't care what Denny represents. That woman said, okay, I'm coming with you, and then took an escalator right on down to the 10 circle. Good Lord.
Yeah, and then she ends up manually pumping his heart.
That's what it was. Okay, I forgot, but that is...
Yeah, I couldn't remember.
He could have been dead if she was pumping the heart. Okay, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. And this was like, what, season 2?
It was pretty early on.
1 or 2. Yeah, maybe 2 probably.
Maybe 2.
No, here's the thing, y'all. I forgot. George then takes over pumping. Then the interns decide, right? Like they have to get the test result themselves. Christina looks at the heart, blah, blah, blah. Denny wakes back up and proposes to Izzy before coding.
Oh, I don't remember that.
I forgot about this. Yeah.
Okay.
Then they try to stabilize. Yeah, y'all, please have Grace, some Seattle Grace with us. At this point, then Bailey comes in and Bailey finds out. Bailey is tired of them. I know Bailey hates to see them come in. I'll tell you that.
This isn't like Mr. Feeney on Boy Meets World. Is she like, interns? What did you do?
Yep.
Feeney had a heart condition and killing him.
She's so tired of them. She's so tired of them.
Yeah.
But then the heart eventually starts to beat and then they close. Surgery, he's like, wow, my hands are warm, blah, blah, blah. Stable. And he's stable in the room.
Right.
And then later that night, he throws a clot and dies.
That's right.
Stroke.
That's right. Yep. Okay, it's all coming back to me now.
Now, can I ask,
yes.
Like, was the prom still on? Did they keep going?
Oh, no, hold on. Because this is one thing that was happening. Scandal is that McDreamy had gotten back with his wife, but then he's in the bathroom with Meredith doing a little something.
Quick.
While this is all going on with Denny.
Choose me. Love me. Yeah.
But he was married?
So did you know that Meredith was the other woman?
Multiple times. It's, I guess it runs in the family considering her mother.
Yes. Basically, that's how we introduce. That's how we are introduced to Meredith and McDreamy, is that the elevator. First of all, elevators was their thing. That's how he proposes to her, right?
Elevators. That is one of the most ridiculous sentences I've ever heard in my life.
Because in the hospital, that's like the only place you can get like a moment to cry or to yell or whatever.
So they're always I know the elevator hates to see these two coming. I'll tell you that. So basically, they had a moment at this, like, the famous bar. Like, the bar is like the Cheers bar, right? Like, everyone's always there kind of deal. Yeah, Joe's, thank you. And they like meet up. They have a little moment. Meredith was like, oh, I had this one night stand with this really hot guy. Wow. He is now the neurosurgeon.
Oh, so she has
a brain surgeon.
Episode 1, she comes to work. She's like, oh my God, I had this crazy night out. I met this guy. I had a one night stand. She goes to work and she's like with Bailey and the rest of the class. And then all of a sudden, this guy, her one night stand, McDreamy, comes in and he's like the neurosurgeon. She's like, and then it comes out later on
that he's married.
They kind of end up back and forth thing, a little bit of, dating. And then it comes out later that he has a wife. And so she's like the other woman. And the wife she comes back to the hospital because they aren't fully divorced.
Yeah.
They're still married.
Do they?
But it gets more complicated because they're in this situation because the wife was having an affair with his best friend, McSteamy.
Yes.
Wait, they're friends? I thought it was like a replacement thing. I thought it was like, well, I'm done with McDreamy. Come in, McSteamy. That is so stupid.
So we find that later.
That'd be like, but that would be like if my nickname was Tommy, and I'm like, come here, Bommy. Like, I don't want to nickname my friend an incredibly similar nickname.
The interns did it, to be fair. It wasn't any of the it wasn't Addison or the two men.
I guess I'd much rather be McDreamy than McSteamy. McSteamy to me implies some sort of like moisture situation.
He was hot.
The thing is,
he was hot.
He
was hot.
Unfortunately, it does work. Mark Sloan, plastic surgeon, hottie McHot, cocky, but like in the right way, right? Like the right amount of cocky you want in a man, where you're like, you're hot and you know it, but like, I'm about it. And I want to know more. Versus McDreamy was very much like, wow, you're a really nice guy, but you're effing cheater. But you're a really nice guy, and you're smart, and you're this. So it just, unfortunately, it worked for the both of them. I don't know how else to say it.
But was Meredith involved with both of them?
No,
okay.
just McDreamy.
Well, Gray was, but not Meredith.
Oh, interesting.
True. Yes.
Did they go on a double date at one point? The Grays and the mix?
I don't think so. No.
Unfortunately, Lexi. Yeah.
Oh, she died in the plane crash.
Yes.
I know about the plane crash.
Okay. So yes, tell us what you know about the plane crash. Yes.
Okay. So I know that a bunch of them were on a plane and it crashed. And then Meredith's sister, I think she was like, they killed off like a couple of other secondary characters, but like, she was the big debt. And this was something that I think either closed out one season and like maybe started another one. But I remember it was a very big deal because all of a sudden it turns into Lost for like half a second.
Yes. Actually, that's wow. Yeah, I love that connection because that's so true.
It did. Yeah. Yep.
So and, then do they deal with any repercussions after that? Is there like a legal battle over suing the plane company?
There is. I don't remember all the details, but it definitely extended into the next season because some of the people lived. And so like one woman she lose at least one leg. I think she lost one, not both. And then
Meredith they had to saw it off. Like, I remember.
Wait, did it? I thought McSteamy died from that too.
Callie lost her leg. Right?
No, it was Callie's partner. The blonde.
Nevada.
Arizona. Yes.
Arizona. Okay, so I knew there was a woman named after a state, but I didn't remember if it was Nevada or Arizona.
Arizona loses her leg, I believe, right? I don't know.
She loses at least one leg.
Misinformation. Yeah, because her whole thing is that she can't walk in it, and then there's just a lot of frustration. Yes. Correct. Yeah. It's her.
Mike, there's a lot of seasons and there's a lot of stuff that happens. So, I haven't gone back and watched the seasons in a while, so it's hard to remember.
This is off the dome, and then I'm random Wikipediaing things. This is how sick the show is, in that it's imprinted on my heart forever.
How many times do they play the Chasing Cars song by Snow Patrol? Because that's one song I associate with it. One thing I do know is for some inexplicable reason, they did do a musical episode.
Yes.
And I watched parts of that because I will say, listen, if you are a television show out there and I'm a slut for musical episodes, but I have taste, for me, it's like they have to be relatively good singers. And there were like some drips and drabs there, but I do remember that the song Chasing Cars is affiliated with the show, but I'm not sure in what way.
So there's Chasing Cars and there's one other song, How to Save a Life.
Or like by the Fray.
One. That's the one for me.
So basically those are played during very, I guess you would call them iconic moments on the show or very like impactful moments, like someone dies or crazy surgery happened or just something. It's just like those are the two songs.
Oh, and when Derek dies, this is the song that plays. So.
Yeah.
So is it like for you all some sort of Pavlovian response? Like when you hear that ba 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 ba, it's like, oh my God, no.
Yeah, when the How to Save a Life thing starts, I was like, some tragedy is about to happen. Exactly. I don't know what's gonna happen. Watch out, planes. You might fall. Watch out, fairies. I might sink.
What?
Oh, yeah, the ferry. Oh, well, Meredith almost died in a ferry.
Yeah.
These people need to like live at the hospital. Like I would be so
well, there might
scared.
be a shooter at the hospital.
Oh yeah, the shooting was so scary.
What?
I can't even watch those episodes. That's so scary. There's a mass shooter at the hospital. Yeah. He literally kills a bunch of people.
Yeah, he does. He does.
What grievance does he have at a hospital?
He got mad because McDreamy didn't save his wife.
Yes.
Didn't save his wife.
Yeah. Exactly. So he comes back and he's like going for McDreamy, but then he kind of just starts like he like loses it and he just starts shooting people. And there's this one scene that's I remember it. It's so scary because they're in a hospital room and there's like a patient that I think is maybe already died in the bed, but Bailey and this other guy are like hiding. And he comes in and he shoots the other guy and Bailey has to like be so silent and she like sees the guy fall. It's like, it's really intense. I can't watch this
and
anymore.
this like really causes scary. A lot of Bailey's issues, right?
Oh yeah, as it should.
OCD and all of this stuff. And it's really unfortunate. Oh my God. I'm like reliving all the trauma, y'all. Like I forgot half these things happen.
Yeah, there's a lot. But there's a ferry boat accident. The same ferry boats that I go to and from home on, by the way. But there's a ferry boat accident and Meredith ends up in the water. She gets knocked into the water and they can't find her right away. And then they bring her in. And there's this whole episode of her basically like very similar to Izzy deciding if she's going to live or die.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, so like, what's she get knocked in by? Like an oar, or just get?
No, there's like
up?
a little kid or something.
Yeah.
A kid pushes her in the water.
No,
she went to save a little kid or something. Yeah.
These people have to stop saving civilians in the wild.
Saving a life. That's the whole point.
Always saving a life. Hence, how to save a life.
Yes.
Oh my God. Well, I'm glad. So, do you think like, will Meredith Grey ever die? Because now she's also like been pseudo kind of written off the show. Are they going to kill her off?
She comes to visit. So this is where, unfortunately, we might get our lashings, Kelley, because we have not watched.
I haven't watched the last few seasons. I've seen clips of things, but I haven't. Yeah.
Same. My problem is after DeLuca was, he was like, again, these really normal people that they just kind of completely do a 180 on their character and just take them like, he has anger issues. That must mean that he has found love. He figured things out with his dad, blah, blah, blah. All this stuff goes on. And because he has anger issues, he must drive the motorcycle at 170 miles an hour. And that's how they kill him off. So then I said, they don't want Meredith to be happy. They don't want her to win. Yeah. So it was that Karev was like the final. No, it was like the coffin was closing, and then DeLuca was a final nail for me. Where I was like, this is just why am I still watching this show?
My downhill moment was when they killed off McDreamy. The way that they did, because Mike, we didn't talk about this, but McDreamy could have lived.
Yes,
but the doctor. So basically, the perspective they give us is through his perspective of being injured in the hospital. And he's talking about what the doctor should be doing. Like he's telling us as the audience what the procedure should be. And she's doing basically like the opposite. And so she ends up being the reason that he dies, but he could have lived because he was alive when he was in the hospital. So that was for me, like that one really got
he doesn't get a CT scan in time.
That's what it is.
And so does everyone like turn on this doctor that made that decision?
Well, it's at a different hospital. And the whole point of that hospital, I think, is that it's not Grey's and that it's like kind of lower tier, blah, blah, blah. Because they use, I feel like, I don't know if it's the same hospital, but I'm like remembering green, right, a lot, which is juxtapositioned with blues and the muted colors at Grey's. But anyway, then eventually it becomes a dark blue when it's Grey Salone, I think. But either way, it doesn't matter. There's like this hospital that's subpar, quote unquote. And Derek dies there. Then Bailey, I know, goes to another hospital because she's having a heart attack. But no one is taking her serious because she's a woman and a Black woman. So she's like, women have heart attacks. Like, what the F are you guys talking about? But they're like, no, writing her off, being like, no, it's stress or it's X, Y, and Z, da, da, da. And she knows that if she, goes to Grey's, she obviously would have been fine, but she doesn't want anyone to know.
Oh,
that
interesting.
This is happening. So she ends up at a different hospital.
Has she tried getting hit by a bus so that no one knew it was her?
But then she might really die, because Bailey was fine. No. She makes it through.
Okay.
Yeah, it's so bad. It's so bad. I can't believe they did this. I can still remember crying, even though I knew it was coming that they were going to kill him.
Because they played How to Save a Life, yeah.
Yeah, it was really sad, though. Because it was like the end of, like, when you watch a show for so long, it's like you really do, not that these people are like people in your life, but, you just connect with characters and you connect with the stories. And Grey's Anatomy does a good job of the music choices, and they kind of give you these like quotes every episode, and you kind of like these quotes, you're like, oh wow, like I'm not a surgeon, but that could apply to my life in a way. And so they really like bring you into these like relationships, and so then when they kill off a major character, it's like, oh my God. It was just really, it was very sad. Yeah. Very sad.
Huh.
Yeah.
So then do they how much do they circulate people in? Is it like every time you lose one character, you gain 3 more?
Well, it started with your main cast, and then they started kind of getting rid of people, and then they'd add in basically like a new class of interns. And so then, but some of those wouldn't last. Like the shooter episode, they got rid of like some of that class, but then some of them stayed. And then it's just kind of like, now I don't even really know who's on it now because I haven't watched. It's a whole new group of
we had
people.
The queer storyline that I remember as well. So that was cool that they were having sex as well. It was
But Callie in Arizona was like the first.
Oh, right. Yeah, not me forgetting. Yeah. That was really cool as well.
But then Arizona had a baby with Mark, which was strange because
why? Why didn't Nevada do that?
I don't remember. Yeah. No, it was Callie. It was her partner. Arizona didn't do it. It was Callie.
Did Callie cheat?
I think so. I think with Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe that was the thing.
I think she cheated. I'm pretty sure. And then she had a baby with Mark.
Arizona with her leg issues had to like carry the baby.
And Arizona dipped out. She's like, I'm going to Europe or whatever to teach or whatever, wherever she went, Norway or something.
Yeah. They used to have like, Callie and Mark used to have sex, even though they didn't like love each other. It was like a little ting. And then unfortunately it turned into a baby.
Do these people like date outside of the hospital?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I mean, I guess being a medical professional, it's very hard hours to work and to find somebody, but it just feels so incredibly complicated to like date where you poop, in a manner of speaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, so much so that one day, one episode, they all there was an STD going around, and so they all had to be tested, and they were trying to figure out who started the STD situation. So yeah.
Did they figure it out?
Yes, they do. It was someone that George was sleeping with.
Yep. Which again, people
before the bus.
Yeah. Not in that window. Post bus.
I think this was the like George O'Malley is like, oh, you can get it too? Question mark.
Oh god, he was a little bit of like the butt monkey comic relief, and then it turns out that he can throw it in.
Yeah. Remember George and Meredith's little thing?
Yeah, but that was painful to watch because she was just like crying the whole time they were, under the covers.
Oh my god, why? Was he that bad?
She was missing. She was basically doing it because she missed McDreamy and like that whole situation. Not he hadn't died yet. Like this is early on, but she just the fact that he was cheating and still had a wife, and she thought like, oh, maybe George and I, but then she was just sad because she wanted to be with him.
There's like some spite sex happening.
Yeah, but she didn't.
Yeah, it was very much using George, and it was bad.
Yeah,
so bad. Also, let's talk about Christina Yang.
Yeah, we haven't talked about Christina. What do you know about Christina, though, Mike? We need to know first.
All I know is that, I got into the work of Sandra Oh when I went to go see Sideways, which I talked about last week with Brooke, where I, unfortunately, my parents and I got to sit next to each other while we watched a scene of full frontal male nudity. But I know that, and I only know this because I saw like a meme go around recently about how she's childless and she's okay being childless. And that was very revolutionary.
Yes.
That's all I know about her. And also her and Meredith were like BFFs.
Okay.
That's all I know. And, and I'm imagining probably shipped together as well.
Okay.
I like it. Yeah.
So, Sasha, you take this one. You talk about her. I mean, I can, but I talked a lot. You go.
No, not at all. You're our guest. Please go ahead.
Oh, okay. So Christina basically comes in and she's the person that she wants to be like the best.
Yes.
Like she wants to be the best surgeon. She wants to be in the surgeries. She is very competitive. She would basically like live her life at the hospital because she wants to be like number one. And then she ends up falling in love with Dr. Burke. And they go to get married, but then they don't get married. And then where does she go? She leaves.
Where'd she go?
Because basically she does get pregnant. With her like on and off relationship with Dr. Burke. And she terminates the pregnancy and without telling him, which because
that's right,
relationship. So and I remember like this was a big deal when they showed this on TV, and but again she also shares that she had an ectopic pregnancy, like it was a whole thing, and after she has her miscarriage she ends up resuming the relationship, and then Burke gets shot at
during the shooting.
Right.
I forgot that Burke gets shot. Yeah.
Because we, not maybe the best person, the person that played Isaiah Washington.
So he was the guy that did the thing with TR Knight. And they were linked up together. Yes, I remember this now.
So, after he gets shot, he develops a hand tumor. Yang helps him recover.
Wait, but that doesn't. That's not
hand tremor.
A hand tremor. Hand tremor. Yeah, shaky hand.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm no medical professional, but I think I'd question the legitimacy of this whole operation. If it's sorry, shootings cause hand tumors.
Oh my god,
a hand tremor, like his hand was shaking, and so he couldn't do
tumor. So that's all. But then like Yang helps him cover it up, like blah blah blah. But here's my thing: they just like take this badass character and make her fall in love, and then I feel like that like ruins. And I know that's not
kind of does,
but it's just I feel like she kind of like gets so wrapped up in Burke. That really pisses me off. And then finally, like they, again, they go back and forth, right? And then she does accept his marriage proposal, and then she has a moment of panic before she walks down the aisle. Because again, this character is like supposed to be a badass, and she's so entwined with Burke that it pisses me off. And then, anyway, whatever. They end up getting married. And
let me guess. At the hospital,
they don't get married. They don't get married.
I'm sorry.
They don't get married.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry because he disappears and he's never and he's seen. We don't see him until way later. And Yang goes on the honeymoon with Meredith to recover.
Oh,
so very Sex in the City, like.
Did they go to Abu Dhabi?
Listen, not yet. But yeah, and then whatever. She has a whole thing. She meets Owen Hunt, which
I totally forgot it. Yes. Oh my gosh. But
I personally find Owen Hunt to be so irritating.
Oh my gosh, me too. I do not like Owen.
Yeah, he's an army trauma surgeon, and like they have a little thing, and again, he's trying to get her to stay down, and he's again. he's the not alpha male, the traditional male without, I think, saying
he's a trad husband.
Yeah, trad husband. That's what I was like. How do I say trad wife, but for man? That's him. So I feel like they have again another damn back and forth because Yang should have never been in a relationship with no one, but here they are trying to get her to fall in love. Anyway, she ends up, leaving, then getting rehired. She marries Owen, by the way, and you could tell they should have.
Let me guess, at the hospital.
Yeah, I don't.
They do have a chapel in there.
Everything with her, but anyway, then they're together. Then they break up. There's like a hospital goes into near bankruptcy. Like I said, it's so.
What? Why? What did they do? Like a fundraiser?
I don't remember.
No. Why it happens is because of the plane crash lawsuit.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Was a key motive behind Owen's request. And then because Owen was chief of surgery, right? For a little bit.
Oh, okay.
As well. So anyway, Owen tells her that he feels responsible. He thought she was dead. They have a sexual relationship after divorcing. Free my girl, Christina Yang, is the point.
But then...
Yeah.
Owen reconnects with one of his old army doctors. What's her name? I wasn't a fan of her either. I can't think of her name.
Altman, Teddy. Teddy.
Oh, Teddy. Yeah. So then he goes on to have a thing with her.
Yeah.
And he has PTSD.
Mm-hmm. And it's just he's a mess. But anyway, Christina and Meredith have a bunch of cool professional experiences because they do the 3D heart printing thing as well. And then the Harper Avery, which is a really prestigious award. And she's nominated, but she's passed over because of her close relationship with the Harper Avery Foundation. Because guess what? They co-own the new Seattle Grace, which is Gray Sloan Memorial Hospital now. Gray for Lexi, who dies, and Mark, who dies, Sloan, in the plane crash. And then
you can name hospitals like that?
It's a whole the hospital weird money thing is crazy. The insurance, they wouldn't.
Was there a contest? Can we call it Hospital McHospital Face?
Basically, because they wouldn't give them insurance money because Karev wasn't on the plane and Nevada, aka Arizona, was. So that caused some insurance drama there. Anyway. Yeah, but then Christina goes to speak in Zurich. Beautiful city. Everyone should go. Orchestrated by none other than one Preston Burke, who's built his own hospital following the winning of the Harper Avery.
No, this is not like tree houses. You can't be like, screw you. I'm building my own hospital now.
God, it's just, they do Christina so dirty. That's why I have
They do.
Her. And he offers her job as the head of the hospital in Switzerland so that he can spend more time with his wife and kids. Christina, of course, accepts the offer.
And so that's how she gets written off the show?
Yes.
But
guess what? She interviews candidates for her replacement, and she interviews one Maggie Pierce for the new chief of cardio. And that is how one twisted sister leaves, and then the other one shows up. Maggie Pierce is the love child of Gray and Dr.
Weber. Yeah.
Weber. Oh my God. No, I was
There's so many names now that I'm even trying to keep track of it in my brain.
Sorry.
Okay. So this is the long lost half sister.
So this sister comes in. Yeah.
So one sister leaves and another one comes.
So Christina leaves and
Wow.
And it's really the worst because my girl deserves better.
Yeah. Christina was great.
Wow. Yeah. That just sounds like God. At that point, I'm like, put me in front of the bus. Put me in the boat.
Right?
Like, I'd rather die that way than live on my knees.
You might die. You might not.
Yeah, it's a lot. And so we've really only talked about kind of the characters that were first introduced. But since then, a lot of key characters have emerged, as we talked about earlier, because some have been killed off or left, and so they've replaced them. So there have been other people that had pretty big storylines, later on in the seasons, kind of middle seasons, but it's too much to even. You got the download on like the main, like the heartbeat of Grey's Anatomy. Yeah.
Yes, the heartbeat that I am pumping the life into.
Exactly.
Is our wires. So
So what do you think, Kelley? What's your consensus? Do you think they should take the show off life support at this point, or at this point, are you like 21 years? What's another 21?
I guess the ratings are telling them if it should continue on, but I listen, maybe I'm not a diehard Grey's fan because I stopped watching it, but maybe I'll get back into it. Maybe this will inspire me. I do think that what the show was and how great that first batch of characters was, it's just really hard. It's like a sequel to a movie, right? Or when you get on movie 4 and you're like, okay, it's not even the same people. I don't even recognize the movie I first watched. It just kind of feels to me like that's where it's at now, because there's just not really anybody left that made me fall in love with the show. So, but I mean, obviously people are still watching it. So
my mom said that it's back, baby.
Oh.
Like, it is fun. Fun is good again. Because she was also pissed off at the DeLuca death and all.
Okay.
But she said, no, it's time to come back and watch it.
Okay. When
she's still watching.
When they bring on new cast members, is it like when they tried that thing in the middle of Glee where it's like, oh, so-and-so is the new McDreamy, so-and-so is the new Meredith? Are they trying to come up with original characters 21 years in?
I think they have like a journey, right? Where it's like you come in as an intern or as maybe a transfer doctor. Because at one point, 2 hospitals merged.
Oh,
the merger. The merger. Yeah.
That's
that was
when
crazy.
We get the baddie. Jesse Williams, aka Jackson Avery.
Oh, wait, is he still around?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. He was on like Only Murders in the Building.
Yeah.
I don't believe he's still on the show.
Last appearance in 2021. So.
Oh, see, that's what I'm saying. So basically, like that, there was kind of like a second group that came in. It was also really likable, but you still had kind of some of the olds. You're like, okay, like I'm down with this blending because I'm getting new, but I'm still getting that like feeling of my old characters. And then once they started to get rid of that first class and the second class, it was like, who are we left with here? It felt very,
Exactly. Yeah. And again, the shooting gave us like, unfortunately, like cleaned house a little bit.
It did.
Yeah. Because like 11 people die.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
Avery, like Jack, again, Avery, aka Harper Avery. So he's like Nepo grandbaby, even. So he's like trying to forge his own journey, blah, blah, blah. So, and then him and Kepner, which is
it's a whole other person. Yeah. Second class. It was like the second
class. Yeah. The Mercy West people.
What era are we in Grey's Anatomy? Is this the new era of Grey's Anatomy?
Probably 4.
Yeah. 4.
Probably 4.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause I would say, the Meredith Christina era 1, Mercy West people I feel like are era 2. Then a whole bunch of people die. Oh, and then DeLuca and their crew I feel like is 3. And then
I think they were 3. DeLuca was 3, and then now we're on whatever we're on now.
Okay, so then if they were on a season of the challenge, which era do you think would be the best?
Era 1.
Oh, yeah.
Please.
Number 1. Yeah, the original. By far the original.
I'm with you.
All right, I'll keep that in mind for my fan fiction. I am like simultaneously addled, but like, God, this must be what cocaine is like. It's getting an info dump on Grey's Anatomy. I'm jazzed. There's so much stimulus happening. This show sounds absolutely wild.
When are we going to introduce you to Scandal, or did you watch Scandal?
I've never watched Scandal.
Ooh.
Bridgerton was my only foray into Shonda Rhimes so far.
Wow.
Scandal, season 1 of Scandal was
I feel like you yes.
Good.
I know a Scandal
Very
has
good.
it's handled, and there's a guy named Fitz, played by the guy who voiced almost a Troyzan Tarzan.
He's the M, right? In MGM. Or he's a G. Sorry.
He's the G, Tony Goldwyn.
He's the G in MGM. Talk about money.
And I know, so there was that. There's the show of Why Is Your Dick on a Dead Man's Phone? How to Get Away with Murder?
Yes.
I couldn't really get into How to Get Away with Murder, but I love Scandal.
After season 1, I gave up on How to Get Away, but Scandal...
It held pretty good. Yeah, it held pretty good.
Yeah. I feel like we need to do a watch of Scandal because it's so ridiculous.
Listen, there might be a sequel, Kelley, to bring you on, because obviously there's so much more we can talk about in terms of your TV taste, but we did such a deep dive into Grey's Anatomy.
Yes, I know. Imagine, Kelley, us explaining to Mike, Olivia, and her dad, and the daddy issues that come with these characters.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack on that show, to be honest with you. I need to do a rewatch because I haven't seen that. I think so.
I haven't seen it either. But oh my God. Yeah, I also looked up this new era of people. Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah.
There's this guy named Lucas Adam, first year surgical interns. Again, era 4.
Mm-hmm.
Derek Shepherd is his uncle. And Amelia is his aunt. And what? Meredith, his aunt. What is happening? Zola, his cousin. Who this?
Girl, we don't know.
That's really interesting.
Now, do I need to rewatch? You know what I'm saying? This is crazy.
I also wonder if AI will get to a certain point where they can just write Grey's Anatomy episodes, just bring in random characters, various medical maladies. I mean, how much do they focus nowadays on the medical maladies, or are they just primarily on the interpersonal drama?
I think they've always done a good job of weaving it in. Obviously, the cases are extreme and seem so ridiculous. Some of them are very normal. Some of them are how would that even happen? Like crazy, flesh-eating diseases and all these things. There was one episode where there was a train crash and these two people had a pole go through both of them and only one of them could live.
And they both had to decide.
They had to decide, and then only one of them could live.
The show would give me agoraphobia. I can't get on a plane. I can't get on a train. I can't get on a boat. I can't ride my motorcycle 100 miles an hour. I can't go outside.
Yeah, there's a lot. So I think it focuses on both. Yeah, it does a good job. Some episodes are kind of more relationship heavy. Some episodes are more medical heavy. Yeah. That's it.
Well, obviously,
what a journey we've been on, you two.
What a journey. This was beautiful.
Wow. Well, I love it. And we all truly learned today how to save a podcast.
Oh my God.
Do you have the song queued, ready to go?
I feel like we're just going to be on YouTube, so we are immediately getting a copyright stricken.
Immediate. Oh my God.
So you can just play it all in your heads. Well, suffice it to say, Kelley, I think this will not be the last time we'll talk to you, because we definitely want to get a deeper dive into your own history with television, other stuff you watch outside of Grey's. But this was an absolute delight. Any other things you want to say? Anything you want to plug for the listeners out there?
No, not at all. Just this was really fun. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Oh, we appreciate you, of course. What I will plug is that Kelley Wentworth made the Survivor 50 wish list top 20. So congratulations to Kelley Wentworth.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Baby.
Listen, you do one fan vote and then you get really good at it, I guess.
Exactly. You're the chief of surgery of fan votes.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much, Mike. Thank you. Yeah, that was fun that you did that, though. Not to talk about Survivor, but I hope you had fun doing it, because that was cool.
Thank you.
A lot of people think about.
Listen, we were the Survivors and Delser
podcast.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, I love that. Is my favorite season.
Oh wow!
I will die.
Okay, it does have a lot of thinking back.
Run everyone back. I don't care. Same people.
It is pretty ridiculous. It really is when you think about it.
But if the Christie brothers aren't himbos anymore, I don't want it. You know what I'm saying? If they have sense now, I don't want it. I don't want it.
I'm going to stand quiet over here.
There we go. Plead the fifth, Kelley. Sasha, anything you'd like to plug now that you are back in the swing of things, officially behind the microphone once more?
Listen, shout out to all my co-hosts. They're killing it. Okay. While I was up and out, but yes.
We're killing it like that doctor with Derek in the bad hospital.
Oh, Mike, those are fighting words.
That cut deep.
Ooh, I might go cry in the corner now.
God.
Okay.
I have a new No new slew of references I could use whenever I want to. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Oh my God, I cannot. But yes, listen, if you want to get caught up with pop culture, you want to know why something's trending, you need to check out Mess Magnets, where Kirsten McKennis, Emmy, but you honestly, with guests for these past 3 weeks, have been talking everything that's trending. And listen, I can't wait to be back because there's a Duggar wedding that just happened. And I'm obsessed. So can't wait. Check out Rob is a website /mess feed. And of course, Chappelle is killing it with Below Deck. So we had Bowie Jane was on to talk Below Deck.
She watched Below Deck, or you asked Bowie Jane, come and talk about the show?
Yeah. She said, she told Rob, I didn't know you watched it. Can I come on to talk about it? So obviously Bowie Jane was on. So listen, check out Below Deck on the Rob Has a Podcast YouTube channel. And for everything else I'm doing, just follow me on Twitter at funsize_04. What about you, Mike?
Yeah, usual reality TV beats. Mentioned The Wish List, which has come to a big close this past week, covering Big Brother, covering the challenge. And look, the Survivor 47 cast will show up at some point. A new group, bringing in a new class of interns, if you will, into the Fijian hospital. And I got the chance to sit down with them all and talk to them before the season. And so whenever that cast drops, I'll have that readily available for you. So keep your ears to the ground and make sure you stay tuned to TV for Real, as next week, Sasha and I will be back with another reality star talking their scripted TV taste. Thank you all so much for listening. Kelley, thank you so much again. This was an absolute delight. We'll be back next week. Until then, everybody, it's been real.